I'm here on day 3 of the Democratic National Convention in the lobby of the Marriott Hotel, where a press conference has just wrapped up of the Bernie Delegates Network. With me is Jeff Cohen. Educate our audience a little bit about all of the things that you do. I want to talk to you about the media coverage of this convention.
I co-founded the online activism group rootsaction.org. In 1986, I founded the Progressive Media Watch group, F.A.I.R. I currently am an associate professor of journalism, and I head the Park Center for Independent Media at Ithaca College. So I scrutinize the news media quite closely.
So you've been doing these press conferences and speaking directly to the press. So you've actually had a chance to influence the press. However, it's the bigger press, CNN, the New York Times, and all of them. I noticed there have been a few quotes from Bernie delegates and from people like Norman Solomon creeping in. But in general, how do you view the media coverage of this whole convention, particularly given that this convention is being upended by a bunch of rebellious Bernie delegates?
Well, that's what's so fascinating. I mean, we know during the whole campaign, the corporate-dominated mainstream media wished that Bernie had gone away. They wanted him to go away a month ago, 2 months ago, 3. They gave Donald Trump at ABC News last year, when there's a guy on the right coming out of nowhere and ascending in the Republican primaries with big crowds, a guy on the left with even bigger crowds. Bernie Sanders comes over out of nowhere, soaring in the polls. ABC News, just to give one example, 81 minutes of coverage to Donald Trump while they were giving Bernie Sanders 20 seconds. So jump from there to today. And there's this sense among corporate mainstream media, I include the media they're usually called liberal, there's a sense that we're disrupting the show. That, journalists are supposed to be adversarial with the state. There's supposed to be a check and balance on those in power or aspiring to power. But what you see when you watch CNN and MSNBC or ABC News, they're really part of power. And they're offended when outsider groups get in and disrupt the show. So that's what's been the most amazing thing, is that journalists in a free society are supposed to be skeptics. And so what you have is all these Bernie delegates, where their main issue, we've surveyed them, Roots Action, part of the Bernie Delegates Network, their single biggest issue is stop the Trans-Pacific Partnership. And what you're seeing when you watch MSNBC from Rachel Maddow, from Chris Matthews, and the others is, don't these people know that Hillary's against the Trans-Pacific Partnership? Well, no one here believes she's against the Trans-Pacific Partnership, and her close confidant, Terry McAuliffe, the governor of Virginia, just admitted such. I mean, the delegates here, there's a lot of young people in the Bernie Delegates Network. They're new to politics, but they have something that corporate mainstream media thinks they don't have. Social media. It's like we're dealing 20 years ago, and they don't understand that these facts go around the internet with the speed of light. And so the upsurge here is because no one believes Hillary Clinton is really against the TPP. They fought like hell to stop the TPP out of the platform. And here, Terry McAuliffe, the governor of Virginia, one of the closest confidants of Bill and Hillary Clinton, says she's not really against TPP. And so I'm watching MSNBC and CNN, and well, Tim Kaine says he's against the TPP. And it's like journalists are supposed to question people in authority, not be their enablers and their courtiers. And so it's like when you have, in the face of all this gullible mainstream journalism in the New York Times, that Hillary's against the TPP, and as of 10 a.m. Sunday, Senator Tim Kaine is against the TPP.
Right, but before that, if they looked into his record, they would know.
Right. I heard Rachel Maddow saying something like that. Don't they know he's come out against it? Well, no. What journalists should know, and what the delegates do know, is that Tim Kaine was one of 13 Senate Democrats who voted to fast-track Trans-Pacific Partnership last year.
Joined the Republicans to do so.
Majority Republicans, most Democrats in the Senate. That's not exactly a left-wing organization, the Democratic Senate Caucus, and most of them voted against fast-tracking TPP. And instead of building a bridge, again, what you're hearing from mainstream media is basically a reflection of Team Clinton. The main critique F.A.I.R has always made of mainstream media is they're so connected with power. Their spouses are in power, and they can't separate themselves and play the role a democracy needs, which is inform the public where these people are BSing or where they're claiming to be for this when they're really for that. So obviously your action and how you voted a year ago should be center stage, and a skeptical journalist, well, now he's claiming he's against it. I think those of us who've been around Democratic Party progressive politics inside the party and outside the party know that in 2008, both Barack Obama, when they were running for office, and Hillary Clinton said they were going to reappraise NAFTA. None of us believed that would happen. It did not happen, but during that time, the mainstream media was saying, wow, they're really pounding NAFTA. And so that's the main critique on how they've covered us. I'm not a delegate, but I'm coordinating the media for the Bernie Delegates Network, 1,250, 2/3 of the total Bernie delegates. So the main thing is this utter gullibility, this willful gullibility. And when I've gone up to journalists and I said, you really believe Hillary Clinton and Tim Kaine are against the TPP? And it's like, well, they'll sort of, grumble.